Hi everyone, welcome to Value. So today we're going to look at Veru, and they just got notice from the European Medicines Agency from the Emergency Task Force that they're reviewing Veru's sabizolone COVID-19 treatment, and that's kind of a really, really good sign because basically these guys are actively looking at the best solutions, and Veru has been picked as one of the better solutions currently available. They're going to do a review on it and then decide if it's actually gonna be useful. So it kind of helps Veru in the future to progress things if they need to. This probably has a big coincidence that the same time that the UK Medicines Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency supported expedited review of the product. Now we have the European Medicines Agency also coming in and going, we actually also want to have a look at this. They're really, really good signs. So back in March, the European Medicines Agency, they got an extended mandate, and then basically this mandate told them that the EMA is responsible for monitoring medicine shortages that might lead to a crisis situation, as well as reporting shortages of critical medicines during a crisis. So that basically sums it up. Like, EMA is also responsible for managing medicine shortages, and if everyone has a lead on Veru's kind of sabizabulin, you have a situation where the EMA is going to miss out. So firstly, if they produce, FDA is going to be like, once if there's a possible approval, then the US is going to be the first buyer, and then the next approval was looking at possibly the UK, if not other countries. So basically, we have a situation where the EMA is stepping in trying to step in ahead of everyone else and going, actually, we're going to review you guys, even though you didn't quite, directly ask us to. Like, we're just going to actively do this because we see the UK is doing it, we see the US is doing it, and the job of the EMA is now to also manage this medicine shortages. And basically, there's no way better to manage it than actually to just get a leg up on things, do the research, review the actual product and see if it's good, and then put the order in. So as I say, basically, the review will look at all available data regarding these. So the review will assist EU member states who may consider allowing use of the medicine before possible authorization. So there you go. Basically, they're going to create a view that's going to be useful before any authorization is done, and it's going to help all the member states get a leg up on the other countries before they also put their orders in, and then Veru has no supply left for anyone else, which is a pretty good sign, right? So the Emergency Task Force will conduct this review and send recommendations to the agency's Human Medicines Committee, which will issue the agency's opinion. EMA will communicate on the outcome of the review when it concludes. So we don't know how long this takes, but it's likely to be a matter of like a month or two, because I don't see them being able to do this at too quickly. But it's better they start these things now than later on. I think as the CEO was saying, COVID-19 infections are sharply rising in Europe. Unfortunately, the death rate in hospitalized patients with moderate to severe COVID-19 who are at risk of ADRS remains unacceptably high with current standards of care. By reducing deaths in hospitalized COVID-19 patients, sabizabulin has great potential to play a critical role in the battle against COVID-19 in the EU. We're excited with this development at the EMA by the Emergency Task Force. We were just notified yesterday that sabizabulin triggered Article 19, which is basically requiring EMA to look at these things, particularly with medicine shortages. This new emergency regulatory pathway may allow the availability of sabizabulin to EU member states prior to sabizabulin being approved by EMA. Now, that's probably quite a key statement to that fact, because basically, if this review comes out good, then basically EU states can basically start putting the orders in for sabizabulin if they think it's good. And basically it sidesteps any approval that's required by the EMA, which is pretty good. It kind of accelerates things. Separately, we were informed by the CHMP yesterday that sabizabulin product is eligible for submission of application for a centralized marketing authorization. So if you remember the UK statement, it was also about the marketing authorization as well. So very similar kind of procedures that are involved. But obviously the best outcome for Veru out of this review will be that if it's positive, member states can start ordering, and they don't actually have to wait for the EMA to give full approval, which is pretty good. Also, there's good clear entry for them to basically start applying for their marketing authorization, which is also really, really positive as well. So overall, like a very, very positive announcement, because it means, firstly, the FDA decision, of course, we're going to hope it's very, very positive. But in the case that it gets declined, Veru does have an alternative route. That is, if their EMA basically approves this as well, then it gives a clear sign that, hey, they can just get the go ahead to sell to European member states, which is just as good as well. So I think that kind of it's not going to cushion the blow of the stock price entirely, but it means it's not a dead end for the product. So the treatment still has a possible avenue that, hey, if the FDA does not give a positive review on these things, potentially the EMA may give a positive review, and that might be an alternative route for the company to continue kind of creating a viable business, which is probably a good sign in those things. Like, it's more like a backup. Like, at the end of the day, the share price is going to live or die in the short term based on what the FDA says. There's no cutting short that. It is, and all hope is on FDA. We've had a positive day, up 2%, though that's not really a lot in this case, because it has been dropping immensely in the last week. So we definitely hope that such an announcement kind of filters through, gets people interested in the stock and in buying up again. Mind you, this is a very, very heavily shorted stock. So basically, any positive momentum in the stock basically gets sold down immediately with traders and people shorting it. Though the volume today was like 6.4 million shares, which is really, really low considering the average is around 12.7 million. So yeah, like, I think there's kind of like this huge perceived risk when it comes to Veru, where people have to read through things. They're very calculated about each decision, and when they can make profit, people are taking it because of the risks. If there's profit on the table, people are going to take some of the profit, and that's quite normal. So out of all this, we've had basically two announcements in the last 2 days, 25th of July and 27th of July. So, keep those announcements coming. Let's hope the next one's about, that FDA approval. Which will be basically what we've been waiting for a very, very long time. Overall story has not changed. Stick with those fundamentals. Stick with the reason why you're investing. And then basically, we'll see how things go. Fingers crossed that FDA decision is not too far away. Until then, good luck investing, everyone, and I'll see you next time.